driving. I guess it's not busy driving to put up like a heads display of something. It's probably something to do with if somebody's narrating or somebody's monitoring your stream. Like, there's nobody to do that for me. I'm fine. So, heading into the office, bit of a morning this morning, to be honest. I think it's going to be a busy week, so that's a good thing. So my middle son, he decided he wasn't going to study, and he had a job for a bit, personal off. Thank you for letting me know, iPhone. Didn't think I needed to know, but okay, now I do, apparently. So my middle son, he looks like me, freckles, red hair, cool kid under normal circumstances, rock solid, just one of those fantastic kids. I think he has a couple of struggles with drive in life, and he's 20 now. He's been out of school now for over a year and a bit, and he tells me he's applying for jobs, but the stuff that he's applying for, that's not a career. And I try and explain to him the difference between a job and a career. See, if you have a job, you can just go find another job. But once you're committed to a career, you're kind of in it. So if you're a game designer, you're going to go look for jobs where they build games, where they design games, where they code games, where they do stuff with gaming. When you're in business, you're going to look for something in business, and you're going to specialize in something. But when you have a job, it doesn't matter whether you have a job at wherever. And he's been applying, he's been explaining to me, Dad, I've been applying. So I explained to him the difference between job and career. Career is not a job. Career is a passion that you have, one. And career is something that you normally build up very specific, qualified experience in, so that you probably, not necessarily, but probably can earn a little bit more than what you can in just, this is my daily job. I go 5 days a week and I get bi-weekly or weekly pay, whatever the case may be. So I try and explain this to him. My little boy, my boy who I love dearly, my boy who means the world. In fact, all my kids mean the world to me. But I explained this to him in depth. So I gave him a bit of an ultimatum. Like, I explained to him, my boy, you're going to have to start making decisions to take yourself that next step, to take yourself a little bit further. And he said, no, I don't want to go study. He's going to apply for a job. If he hasn't heard anything by Wednesday, he is going to look at the Marine Corps. I said, my boy, you have my 100% support. So I worked with this guy who was in the Marines, and this guy I respect hugely. He is a phenomenal guy to work with. He very knowledgeable, very controlled of himself, just lovely person. I don't spend a lot of time with him. I always look at it, I don't want someone to bug me. I'm not going to bug someone else. So let's just put that out there. But phenomenal guy. And it kind of made me proud when my boy said, he's thinking of going into the Marine Corps. I said, you know, you have my support. And he said a couple of things that scare him at the moment to do that is, one thing that scares him is the fact that he's not sure of what the war situation is like, or what the situation is like at the moment. The Middle East is a bit messed up. Ukraine, Russia, like all of that. This is not a political channel by any means, so please don't expect anything political really out of me. These are like dad, father son conversations. And I spoke to him. I said, listen, there's always going to be unrest. I don't know, like there's always somebody, there's always a fill in the blank word person somewhere in the world. Please, you can go. Anyway, sorry. There's always somebody looking for trouble somewhere in the world that's not asked for. You're always going to get those kinds of people. You can't get away from them. And the point that I was making was, there's always uncertainty. Like any decision you make, you don't know what the future is. You can't determine whether this is the right decision, yes or no, from your viewpoint now. What you can do is you can mitigate your risks as far as possible. And I explained to him the difference between conscription and your decision to join the Marine Corps is you can decide where you want to go. Thank you, sir. Whereas if you're conscripted, you have to fill in a spot somewhere along the line. So I said, I think if you join the Marine Corps, you have to join for 4 years, and then you have 2 years of where you're a reservist. Ooh, this Toyota driver, holy smokes. Just the minute I can pass him, that's the minute I will. But until then, let me keep a fair distance. I don't think that his taillights work properly. Anyways, that's not the point. I'm sorry. I think you have to join for 4 years. Then you have 2 more years of a reservist. Or you can make it your career. And if that's the case, then you're going to, I suppose, corporal, lieutenant, whatever the case may be. Now, I've never been a supporter of any form of, thank you, Monsieur Toyota driver. I've never been a fan of anything militant, ever. Because there's always some group of people with no skin in the game. And when I say no skin in the game, their sons and daughters aren't going to war, but they send your son and your daughter to war. So that's probably the most political statement I'll ever make. I've never been a fan of anything militant in my life, ever. But I told him, my boy, if this is what you need to get your head screwed on, to get yourself in a place where you can make decisions on your future. Because having a job, that's not having a career. Like, a career is something you retire from. A job is something that you can have until you're 70, 80. Like, it doesn't matter. If you're still there, then you can have a job. That's not a problem. But a career is something you retire from. It's something where you've left a mark. So anyways, long story short, him and we had a conversation. Tonight when I get home, I'll still talk to him a little bit. I want to find out a little bit more of where his head's at. And I explained to him, I said, listen, if you go to the military, you better expect to get shouted at. Like, it's not a pleasant experience. It's not something you look back and you say, oh, can't wait to do that again. Like, apparently the first 3 months, your your first 3 months are just absolutely awful. But I said I'll support him, and like I'll drive down to see him whenever I can, or fly whenever I can to see my little boy. But it's his decision. But obviously, he had a job. He no longer has a job. The job he had was a basic job. You can't build a career out of it. And I explained it to him. I said, it's fun when you're 20. Or, well, he's 19 now because he's been a year out of school. I said, it's fun when you're 20, 22. Like, I don't think you're going to pick up too many girls, but he doesn't really care about that. He's got a girlfriend, so he's cool in the gang. But the point that I'm making is, if you go out with your mates and a girl asks you, you're 20 years old, a girl asks you, hey, listen, what do you do for a living? He can still say, I wash dishes and I mop up after other people's messes and so on. And kids will think it's cool, I suppose. But it's not something when you're 35 you want to say, oh, look, hey, I'm a dishwasher. But then in any case, your job would have been automated. There's no company in 15 years from now that's going to have human beings as dishwashers. There's equipment that can do it for hopefully cheaper, especially large volumes of dishes and so on. I can do it much quicker, much easier. So that's the point that I'm making. And like I said, he had a job. He no longer has a job. He is currently unemployed. And I'm saying, maybe this is the right thing to do. Now, I'm not going to tell anybody what they need to do, how they need to do it, where they need to do it. All I can say is in a couple of years, so I still have a younger son who's going into university now. And then I have Haven, who's 10 years old. And so I still have 8 more years plus 4 more years. So she'll be, 22? So that's 12 years from now, where I have to abide by parent rules. Let me do this. Parenting rules, where I have to look after my daughter. But she, and the younger brother, and obviously if he's there, that's perfectly fine. 12 more years, which sounds like a long time. But by then, he'll be 32. I already had kids at the age of 32. I had him when I was 32. So take that, sports fans. So anyways, the point that I'm making is, he cannot go on like this for another 12 years. And Haven, she's going to meet someone while she's studying. She's going to fall in love, hopefully, get married, hopefully after she studied, not before. But we're talking 12 years. It sounds maybe like a long time, but it's not. So my little boy, I told him, I'm not worried, because I know that he'll be fine. He'll be fine. But my goodness. There you go. That's really the crux of it. I also told him, my boy, you don't want dad to start making decisions for you. Part of being a man and a grown man at it is the fact that you take responsibility for your own decisions and for yourself. I said to him, so you've got a girlfriend. Obviously, she's not going to stay your girlfriend forever. You're going to make a decision at some stage to propose or break it off with a, oh, thank you. Like, maybe open your eyes, mate. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. It's just like, if people can't, anyways. I say, surely you're not gonna have her stay your girlfriend forever. You're gonna obviously commit at some stage to getting married, having kids, having little rugrats running around, like you did with me. I said, my boy, I love you. I've loved you since the minute I saw you. Made mistakes along the way, but overall picture was positive. The fact that we have to explain that to our kids. I say, I want you to make mistakes with your kids. I want you to learn from your kids. I want you to be a better father to your son than what I ever was to you. But you're going to have to get there. And it's always, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. I explained this to him. I said, it's the same thing with you and the decisions that you're making at the moment. Like, this impacts, not now, not when you're 20 years old, but it does impact you 30 years later when you're 50 and when you're 60 and so on. So my little boy, I think there's a lot of value in what he can offer. I just wish him just all the best, especially with this tough time that all kids go through at the moment. I'm taking it. Oh, that was fantastic, wasn't it? Like a Formula One driver that was. Yes. Anyways, that's really the main thing. I haven't had a chance to read the messages. My apologies for that. But as soon as I publish the video, which I will this afternoon, what I will do is I'll go back and I don't watch the video. What I'll do is I'll go watch the snippets to read the messages and so on. And thank you for the messages. Those were pretty cool, I'm sure. If you had something nice to say, fantastic. If you have parenting advice, if you have a 20-year-old still in the house, not in the basement, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. I definitely, I don't know. Let's say that. I don't know. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading the messages. Thank you for those, by the way. And yeah, I'll kill the stream in a minute. Or maybe what I can do is I can stop quickly, go through the messages. A Formula One driver, this car. Not at all. No, I know. So we're allowed to do 60, 55, 60 here. Check now. She's just fantastic, this car. Nothing wrong with her. A bit louder than the Ford. The Ford is dead quiet. Like, completely quiet. Even if you get the car's revs up a little bit, nothing, no complaints. Half the time it's on electric power in any case, so it never gets angry at you. This car, 3,500 revs, it starts to sound angry. So, but it's all good, it's all good. Lovely, lovely. Okay. I think it's a good time to call this stream. Oh, come on. Like I said, I'm calling it. No, I'm serious. Now it tells me I'm working. Like, why does my phone do that? I don't need to know when I'm working. I'm not busy working, I'm busy driving. Oh, you're in personal time. Oh, you're in work time. Well, I don't need to know that stuff. I'm okay without it. There we go. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there were quite a few, weren't there? I can switch this little guy off. Have a look at this. Hi. Yes, hello. Okay, cool. What that is, but okay. Do you like mashed potatoes? I don't know. I suppose that's a bot or something. It's a time. Time now is almost 12 o'clock in the morning. Don't kill Trump. I agree. No violence ever. Violence is never the answer. JK. Okay, cool. You have a wonderful... Send positive vibes. Yeah, thanks, mate. Matt, appreciate it. Total 8 years, I thought. It could be 8 years. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with it. Where you from, Beardy? Matt, I was born in South Africa and I live in the US. Like the accent. Nice. Thank you. Much appreciated, mate. Haha, dumb kid. Was a bad shot. Okay. I mean, hey, listen, we were all young and confused at some stage. It's cool to see standard. Yeah, that's true. Hey, listen, guys. Fantastic conversation. I appreciate everybody's messages and so on. I'm going to call this stream for now. You guys have a fantastic day. Do take care. We'll talk soon. Take care. Bye-bye.